10 Best Picks presents the top 10 best mechanical gaming keyboards. Starting at number 10. Logitech G915 TKL. For some, less is more when it comes to their gaming or work space. Less clutter, fewer cables means more space on your desk for moving your mouse or having a snack. The Logitech G915 TKL wireless gaming keyboard frees up space in multiple ways, including a tankless design that saves space by dropping the numpad and G macro keys. It also brings an ultra-slim build and the option to connect via Bluetooth or a wireless. Available today, the TKL is a smaller and cheaper version of the Logitech G915 Lightspeed, which we reviewed in 2019 and dubbed the best gaming keyboard in the wireless category. The G915 TKL follows tradition with a reliable wireless connection, a luxurious design, low-profile mechanical switches and one heck of a price tag. It also frees up 3.5 inches of desk space over its full-sized counterpart, and at $230 the G915 TKL is 8% cheaper than the full-sized version's $250. And today, Logitech unveiled a white version of the G915 TKL, offering a new look for your desktop. There are also dedicated buttons for toggling the dongle connection, which Logitech calls Lightspeed, and switching to a Bluetooth connection. This makes it easy to use the G915 TKL with multiple PCs on the fly. You can toggle RGB brightness with the sun-stamped button, and once you figure out the button next to the RGB one has a joystick on it, you can activate game mode. A power button is easily accessible on the top edge of the chassis, as well as a micro USB port for attaching the included cable for charging or wired use. Whether you're looking for a keyboard that can travel to LAN parties, to work, or just from one room or PC to another, the Logitech G915 TKL is as good as it gets. Its easily swappable Bluetooth or wireless dongle connections make it fit for using with multiple PCs, and its tankless form trims down an already slender build even more. At number 9. SteelSeries Apex Pro. The SteelSeries Apex Pro is an outstanding keyboard for gamers, but it's quite versatile too. It has a unique setting that lets you change the amount of pre-travel distance needed to input a keystroke, which in turn increases and decreases its actuation force. You can lower it for a more responsive experience in games, or you can raise it up to reduce the number of typos and accidental keystrokes when typing text. This keyboard is very well built and features dedicated media keys and comes with a nice magnetic wrist rest. The ergonomics are good. The keyboard comes with a nice magnetic detachable wrist rest, but only features a single incline setting. Unfortunately, the feet open up vertically, meaning they can fold back in if you push your keyboard forward. For an even more ergonomic design, check out the split design of the Kinesis Freestyle Edge RGB. The SteelSeries Apex Pro has a lot of amazing extra features. It has dedicated media keys like volume control and playback control with the wheel and menu button. You can also program every key to the function that you want, and the OLED screen is fully customizable. You can show off anything you want, whether it's an image or a GIF. If you prefer having extra dedicated macro keys, check out the Corsair K95 RGB Platinum XT. The SteelSeries Apex Pro is an outstanding gaming keyboard. It's responsive and you can set the pre-travel distance of your keys to your preferred setting. It's also very well built and is fully customizable inside its excellent software. The backlighting is also great for gaming in the dark. Number 8 of my list. Cooler Master SK621. For many of us, the primary point of a mechanical keyboard is to get away from the flat, cramped keys found on the average laptop. And that makes Cooler Master's SK621 mechanical a particularly strange proposition. The 60% design is actually slightly smaller than the keyboard on my work laptop, and the chiclet-style keys are flat, or very nearly so. There is a very shallow scoop to the keys. But portability is a primary point of these reduced-sized clackers, and the SK621 excels there. At 11.5x4, 1x1, 1 inches and weighing in under a pound, it's small and svelte enough to slip into an outer pocket of a backpack. As someone who travels a fair bit and loves mechanical keyboards, I'm no stranger to 60% keyboards. I've owned an AIMO Pro keyboard with clickier blue style switches and taller, scooped keycaps for well over a year. My primary issues with that keyboard are its lack of dedicated arrow keys, lack of an off switch, and easy to forget combos for controlling the lights and settings. It also doesn't ship with a travel bag, and at about 1.7 inches thick at the back, it's not quite as portable as I'd like. The low-profile cherry switches support standard keycaps as well, so you could switch the flat keys out for something that feels more traditional. But that would add to the already fairly high price and increase the thickness of the keyboard, making it less portable. Overall, I like the look and feel of this keyboard a lot. The various lighting effects look good, and the build quality feels solid, with a rugged-feeling plastic bottom and a brushed aluminum top plate. I'd like to see some flip-up feet to raise the keys at the back, but that's not generally a feature of these small keyboards, and the overall design is wedge-shaped, so the keys at the front are slightly lower than those at the back by default. Coming at number 7. RAZER BLACKWIDOW X CHROMA. With its mice and keyboards, RAZER tends to refine rather than redesign. The BLACKWIDOW X CHROMA is a perfect example of this strategy in action, as it's essentially just a BLACKWIDOW CHROMA keyboard, but with a redesigned metallic faceplate. The keyboard's strengths are still present: decent mechanical switches, great software and solid performance. Its unique design can get in the way of typing, though, and while it knocks $10 off the asking price, the X doesn't add much beyond aesthetics. If you're familiar with the BLACKWIDOW line of keyboards, the X is simply a variation on it. Like the standard BLACKWIDOW line, the X comes in your choice of full-size, tankless or full-size plus a row of macro keys. Where it differs from the more traditional peripheral is in its face plate. While BLACKWIDOW keyboards have, up until now, used a plastic plate that hid the lower half of the keycaps, the X takes a much more stripped-down approach. The faceplate is made of metal, with an extremely low profile. You can see every keycap and the root of the switch underneath, like row upon row of shark teeth. It's a cool look that's not too aggressive or obnoxious. The BLACKWIDOW X CHROMA has a very industrial, Art Deco feel to it, and I'll take a distinctive design over a boring one any day. The BLACKWIDOW X CHROMA is one of the coolest looking keyboards I've reviewed. It's also intuitive and a little cheaper than its standard counterpart, but what you gain in savings, you may lose in typing proficiency. I found that the low-profile metal design impeded my typing and didn't feel as comfortable as the admittedly less attractive plastic plate. Still, it's hard to argue with responsive switches, gorgeous backlighting and fantastic performance. The BLACKWIDOW X CHROMA is worth a gander from any PC gamer looking for a new keyboard, but bear in mind that it's an optional variant, not an evolutionary step. At number 6. ROCCAT VULCAN 121 AIMO. A little more than a year ago, I reviewed the ROCCAT VULCAN 120 AIMO keyboard. With that product's gorgeous design, comfortable key switches and breathtaking lighting, I couldn't see how ROCCAT could make a better keyboard. Evidently, neither could ROCCAT, since the ROCCAT VULCAN 121 AIMO is very nearly the same thing as the previous model. The VULCAN 121 AIMO has the same design, the same features, and even the same price as its predecessor, and as far as I'm concerned, that's just fine. The designers at ROCCAT aren't fixing what ain't broken, and who could blame them? The only way the VULCAN 121 AIMO differs from the VULCAN 120 AIMO, as far as I can tell, is that it lets you choose between two kinds of key switches, a linear red and a tactile brown. More options are almost always a good thing. And as the keyboard is still a joy to look at and to use, I see no reason to give the latest version a lower score. The full-size keyboard isn't obnoxiously large either, measuring 18.2x9, 3x1, 3 inches. Part of this is because it doesn't have an extra row of macro keys. This helps keep the price a little lower than those for competing RGB keyboards, which can range up to $180. It saves some space at the same time. Granted, if you're a heavy macro user, you can find better keyboards than the VULCAN 121 AIMO for your needs, but those who prefer straightforward simple setups will find a lot to like here. The ROCCAT VULCAN 121 AIMO has the same design, features and price as its predecessor, and that's good. For more information and price, check out the product links in description underneath the video. Halfway of my listed number 5. SteelSeries Apex 3. The SteelSeries Apex 3 gaming keyboard, boasting an MSRP of $49.99, is one of the line's flagship products, and we found ourselves pleasantly surprised by the robust feature set and ergonomic comfort of this budget peripheral. The term budget comes with some unfortunate connotations in the world of PC gaming peripherals. Exclamations of cheaply made or lacking in features and comfort often characterize consumer perception around such branding. SteelSeries is out to change this sentiment with its new suite of budget gaming devices, however, which the Apex 3 is part of. At its price point, the SteelSeries Apex 3 is up against some stiff competition in the budget keyboard market, such as Havit's RGB mechanical keyboard and pretty much the entire line of PicTech keyboards. However, the SteelSeries Apex 3 has a sizable marketing advantage thanks to bearing the SteelSeries name. The company is responsible for some truly iconic devices, such as its Arctis headsets and the Sensei line of gaming mice. Luckily, SteelSeries has included an absolutely fantastic palm rest in the box. It magnetically snaps to the front of the board and has 8 rubber-padded feet, which prevents it from sliding around during gaming sessions. It sounds like a minor thing, but this palm rest is legitimately one of our favorite parts of this keyboard. SteelSeries' new budget-minded keyboard boasts some impressive features, even if they come with a few concessions. However, a lack of mechanical switches can't keep us from wholeheartedly recommending the Apex 3. Coming in at number 4 of my list. Logitech K800. Logitech's K800 wireless illuminated keyboard is indispensable if you often type late into the evening or otherwise work in dark environments. This backlit keyboard not only provides the necessary light but also offers one of the most comfortable and pleasant typing experiences we've encountered, all at an affordable price. The most striking thing about the K800 is its size. In an age where keyboards seem to cram everything into smaller and smaller profiles, the K800 takes up a luxurious amount of real estate. It measures nearly 18 inches across and about 8 inches top to bottom. That size doesn't necessarily translate into durability, though. I found I could bend and twist the plastic chassis, which measures only an inch at its thickest point, with my bare hands. That's probably a negligible complaint, as the K800 is clearly designed to be desk-bound, not tossed into your gear bag like portable wireless keyboards. The K800's signature feature, though, is its illumination. When activated via an on-off switch at the top right, the characters on the laser-etched keys are backlit. You can reduce or increase the brightness by pressing the secondary function key, located to the right of the spacebar between the Alt and Control keys, and F5 or F6, respectively. Logitech also included hand proximity detection, so that the backlighting will dim when you pull your hands away from the keyboard and brighten when you return them. The K800 uses Logitech's unifying receiver, a 2.4GHz USB dongle that provides better connectivity and allows you to connect multiple mice and keyboards to one computer. All I had to do was plug it into a USB port and the keyboard was up and running. With our increasingly 24/7 workdays, backlit keyboards are more of a requirement than ever. The Logitech K800 wireless illuminated keyboard will provide all the light you need to work into the night and a quieter, more comfortable typing experience to boot. At number 3. Corsair K63. The Corsair K63 wireless mechanical gaming keyboard is an exceptional and versatile keyboard. It can be paired using its wireless USB receiver or through Bluetooth, and it can connect to 2 devices at a time for easy multitasking. It has linear Cherry MX Red switches that feel extremely responsive, and it has excellent compatibility with various operating systems. It's designed to fit into the Corsair lapboard, which provides support and stability when using the keyboard with a home theater PC, although it's sold separately, and we haven't reviewed it. Sadly, its backlighting is limited to a single blue color, and it doesn't have onboard memory or a cloud sync feature to export your customization settings. On the whole, though, it's a great option for gaming or work. The build quality is decent. The frame is made of plastic, which feels a bit cheap, and the keycaps are made of ABS plastic. It's very similar to the Corsair K68 RGB, but the keys feel more stable, and the hooks that connect the wrist rest to the keyboard feel sturdier. If you're looking for a better built TKL keyboard, check out the Cooler Master MK730. The Corsair K63 wireless has individually backlit keys, and you can control the brightness directly on the keyboard. Unfortunately, it's limited to a single blue color. There's an ice blue variant, which is slightly brighter. If you want a keyboard with full RGB backlighting, check out the full-sized Corsair K57 RGB wireless gaming keyboard or the 10-keyless-sized Corsair K65 Lux RGB. The Corsair K63 wireless is an amazing gaming keyboard. Its Cherry MX Red switches feel light and responsive, and it has backlighting for those who like to game in the dark. Also, its latency over a wired connection is impressively low, although it's a bit higher when used with the receiver or over Bluetooth. You can reprogram or set macros to any key, but there aren't any dedicated macro keys for MMO games. For more information and price, check out the product links in description underneath the video. Coming at number 2, Corsair K95. The Corsair K95 RGB Platinum is an amazing gaming keyboard and can be used for a wide variety of uses as well. It features Cherry MX Speed linear switches, which have a very low pre-travel distance and feel quite responsive and quick. The keyboard is very well built and also features 6 dedicated macro keys. It's a full RGB lit keyboard that also has a strip for underglowing on your desk. Unfortunately, the ABS keycaps feel a bit cheap, but there's a newer model, the Corsair K95 Platinum XT, with double-shot PBT caps if you prefer. The Corsair K95's build quality is great. The board has a top aluminum plate with a very solid plastic base. The whole keyboard feels very well built, but the ABS keycaps feel a bit cheap. Some of them also come off rather easily. However, the newer Corsair K95 RGB Platinum XT is advertised to have double-shot PBT keycaps. The K95 is noticeably better built than the Corsair K68. The Corsair K95 has dedicated media keys at the top right of the keyboard. It has a nice wheel to control volume and a dedicated Windows lock key to make sure your game doesn't accidentally minimize when playing. The Cherry MX Speed switches are linear switches which are fairly similar to the red ones, but with a noticeably shorter pre-travel distance. This makes keys actuate faster, but can also be prone to typos when typing. This keyboard is also available with Cherry MX Brown switches, which have a more tactile feel. The Corsair K95 Platinum is an excellent gaming keyboard. It feels responsive thanks to the very short pre-travel, and the keys are light to press on in order to register. The build quality is great. It offers dedicated macro keys and is also fully RGB lit, which is great for playing in the dark. And number 1. Corsair K100. Corsair's new K100 RGB gaming keyboard takes a page from CPU makers, adding multithreading that helps deliver a 4000 Hz polling rate. The company says the K100 registers key presses 4 times faster than standard mechanical keyboards, which typically have 1000 Hz polling rate. For most people, a keyboard that pings your PC 4000 times a second rather than 1000 times a second isn't going to translate to serious performance gains unless perhaps you have 4 times as many fingers as the average gamer. Combined with many of the other niceties that carry over from the previous K95 RGB, like PBT keycaps and a detachable cushioned wrist rest, the K100 is an excellent clacker for virtual battle. I even like the linear optical switches for typing more than typical red or silver mechanical switches, and the control wheel is great for zooming in and out for content creation. But at $230, you're going to really have to love these switches and the control wheel to justify the price, even over the keyboard's excellent predecessor and one of the best gaming keyboards, the Corsair K95 Platinum XT, which can be found for about $40 less in the image above. The Corsair K100 is on the right, with the previous generation K95 Platinum XT on the left. Note the Corsair iQ Nexus touchscreen controller is attached to the back of the K95 here. You can also attach the Nexus to the back of the K100, though that might be control option overload with 2 metal wheels and a touchscreen, not to mention all the other media keys. Corsair's K100 RGB shifts to optical mechanical switches, ups the polling rate to 4000 Hz, and adds a customizable IQ control wheel. It's a comfy, attractive, versatile tool on and off the virtual battlefield. But the price also jumps $30 over its predecessor to $230. For more information and price, check out the product links in description underneath the video. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, share this video and hit the like button.